welcome back to my conversations with contributors. And this one is a little bit different because Brettyn's here with me, and you are one of our performers. You are our performer for our launch of the Climb issue coming up on Wednesday. So this is Wednesday evening, which will be tomorrow evening already. And just wanted to thank you so much for coming on short notice. And we met, what was that, like a month and a half ago?
I believe
Not very
so.
long ago. So this was on Truth and Reconciliation Day. We, my husband and I came out to Cafe Koi, and it was a pretty special night where my daughter and my daughter's boyfriend were playing with their band, and you opened up. I think you had the first set, and I loved your music. I love what you brought to old tunes. You know, who doesn't love a good Whitney Houston cover? But I think
I love them.
Exactly what I was saying to you. It's like you totally made it your own. So why don't you tell people a little bit about your music? Where are you at now? Just what brought you to this? Like, why do you love music so much?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hi, my name's Brettyn. I'm a country pop singer-songwriter. I'm from Okotoks, Alberta, from outside of Calgary. And I started music when I was super young. My parents threw me in a music for young children's program when I was like super little, like 4 or 5. And then I started piano lessons when I was about 5 as well. And then that's kind of where the whole little love for music evolved, because then I started vocal lessons when I was about 8. Then I started music theory as well. I'm a huge music theory nerd. So I did Royal Conservatory for piano, music theory, and voice as well. And then I picked up a guitar when I was 13. And that's kind of, as soon as I could learn 4 basic chords, I was like, well, I'm going to try writing a song, because other people seem to do that. So I started writing songs, and then I was like, hey, I want to share them with people. So then that's when I started going out and playing shows, like similar to Cafe Koi. And so I've just now been playing anywhere I can for anyone I can. And working on music. I love writing. I'm currently working on new music. That's where I'm at right now, is I've been in the studio a lot, going to release new music next year in 2022. So that's kind of a quick recap of where I've came from and where I'm at.
That's awesome. And you know what's really interesting? I think even reading, when I was kind of looking through your music, and you've got so much great content on YouTube and great music on YouTube, and then on your website, if I could just quote what was on your website. Music is a feeling that connects us all and changes how we feel in a moment of time. Can you tell us about that quote? Why is that meaningful for you?
Yeah, I think it's a quote that I've had that on my website like since the very beginning. And I think it just really captures why I love music and why I think it's such an amazing and powerful thing. Is my favorite part about music, especially playing live, is connecting with people, because like I'll sing some of my songs and I don't know anybody. They're all strangers in the audience, but I'll have people come up to me after and be like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Like I dated that guy, or I had that same experience. And it's just so cool that you can like connect with strangers through music and share experiences. And even when me listening to other artists play, or listening to songs on the radio or on my phone or whatever it is, they totally put you in like a place of emotion of whatever the song is, and can bring back memories for yourself. Or sometimes it's fun to imagine what those experiences would have been like to go through in order to write a song like such. And I think music is just such a cool way and so powerful. It's universal. Like music is like a universal language. So I think it's super cool. And that quote is just kind of, I think, sums it up all nicely, the way I feel about music.
Well, and it's interesting too, because when you talk about it connecting people, and collectively we listen to music, and then we all feel like we're in that same space when we hear something that we all know, or when you talk about it like a language, where we're speaking that same language, whether we literally can speak the same language or not, music brings us together. Exactly. So beautiful. What was it like for you when, because I know a lot of musicians in my world that had to make that shift, right? It was a really quick, we hit the wall pretty fast here. That would have been in March, middle of March, when COVID hit here in Calgary. Where were you at? And what was that like for you to have to make a shift, I would guess, from how much you were singing, you know, out in venues and at different events, to kind of making something new happen? What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was very, very strange. Like I still remember the day so vividly. I think it was like March 13th or something, when like everything shut down. Like I was sitting in class at university with like all my friends, and we were all like, are you guys seeing this? Like we were all checking our phones. We were like, NHL just got canceled, the NBA's canceled. Like we were like, what is going on? And everything was canceled. And I was actually supposed to have a show that night, and it got canceled like that morning. And it was the weirdest thing, and I still remember it so clearly, and it feels like not that long ago, but it a huge shift for musicians as well. Like all of our shows immediately got canceled. Some of them are still getting canceled to this day. It's kind of always been up in the air ever since then, but it's really been cool because a lot of organizations, musicians, venues, promoters, event planners have transitioned to doing online shows a lot, which has allowed us musicians to continue doing virtual performances over COVID, which has been amazing. And the tech that these people have us like on Zoom. I remember my very first Zoom show I did too. I was like, this is complicated stuff. And so it's amazing. I'm so grateful for all the people and the individuals who helped put that all together. And so, yeah, it was just a big transition to online shows. So now over these last few months, recently getting back to live shows has been so good, and it feels so good. And I didn't realize how much I missed it. Like I think one of my first shows back, I almost cried after, because I was just like so overwhelmed to be back and like be with people and singing music live, not in my sweatpants in my bedroom. That was a big change too. I'm like, oh, I actually have to get dressed. But yeah. I'm so happy to be back. It was insane.
Well, and it is that energy, right? Like, I think a lot of people talk about that energy in the room that we miss, like we might be able to hear people online, or my theme for last year, for 2020, before COVID was ever a thing, was rhythm. And it was a business kind of word for me, kind of getting into the rhythm, more consistency, really finding, things that I could do over and over again, just really having this rhythm to the things I was working on. But ironically, what was happening, work was all over the map. But what was happening was I had my headphones on almost all day, listening to music in my little office here, my home office, and finding so much great music that I probably would have never slowed down long enough to go down those rabbit trails to find new music. And so the idea of having this rhythm and now have, I always have had a really eclectic taste in music, but it's cool to see how the gifts in COVID or the shutdowns that happened kind of opened up my eyes to other things, other musicians, people that were doing other things. So I'm excited about getting back into person again. But have you found any new favorites through your time sort of now doing online events?
Yeah, that's cool. I was thinking the same thing. It was kind of the bright side of it was I got super into like co-writing, and I think it was great for musicians. We got to take some time to like work on our skills that we normally push to the side when we're in the hustle and the rhythm of playing shows all the time. So I think that was really cool. And yeah, I did listen to a lot of new music, and I kind of just like listened to a bunch of new music. Like my friends were giving me recommendations, and so I found a lot of cool artists. My sister gave me a lot, but I definitely was listening to a lot of music. I'm trying to think of someone who I started listening to. There's so many. I started listening to Ingrid Andres, who's a country artist. Neil Arts is one from Saskatchewan that I started listening to a lot more. Coin, I think that's the name. My sister listens to them a lot. I liked their music as well. So yeah, I listened to, like you said, a lot of big variety. I love all different types of music as well. So I just, I'll listen to it. I like it all.
Well, you know what I'm making a note of, actually, it's right beside my desk here. So I'm starting to build a little, it's a playlist for our Climb issue of moments. So it'll probably be released this week, but if you have any suggestions, or as people are watching this, if you guys have any suggestions on new music, happy, inspiring music that we can put together, just as we're all climbing to whatever 2022 brings us next year. Love having this conversation with you. I know that it hasn't been easy for many musicians, and I know you've got a lot of balls in the air. You're at school and you've got a lot of things happening, but well done for keeping going, and so glad that we get to showcase you on Wednesday night. Anything that you want to share with us on what you'll be singing that night and sharing with us?
Ooh, that's a little sneak peek. I think I'll leave it as a little teaser that I will be singing a song that goes with the theme of the night.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
I think I'll leave it at that. We'll leave it a mystery. I think that's always more
Okay.
exciting.
Sounds good. I am so happy to have you there. So if any of you haven't got your tickets yet and you would like to join us, it's free. This is going to be a great evening. We're going to have a panel of climbers, event planning climbers that will be there. They're going to share their stories of what it was like for them last year. And then we've got Pete Woods. He's an actual climber. He's a commentator and a coach. He works out of our boulder climbing community here in Calgary. He's going to be speaking about climbing and what does it mean to fall and keep getting back up again. So it's going to be a great evening. And Brettyn, you're going to be with us and you're going to be singing too. So we're so thrilled to have you. If you
Yes,
want to get your tickets at candyconsulting.ca/moments-magazine. And Brettyn, how can people get a hold of you today if they want to listen to your music right away?
yeah, I'm on all social media platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, website, all that good stuff is just at Brettyn Rose. Pretty simple.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you at the party.
Yes, thank you so much for having me tonight, and I'm very excited for Wednesday.
Awesome. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's great. Bye.